Okay, so sort of late in the day to be doing this. I don't know what's been going on. Just one thing after another happens, and kids, friends coming back to school out here from back east. I don't know. There's people stopping by, and it's supposed to be Sunday morning, a day of rest, and we're on lesson number 242. And remember, we're looking at what is the world. So we're taking a look, a good hard look. Now that the line, this is lesson 242. This day is God's. It is my gift to Him. It's interesting now that we've been reading the text. Many of you have been reading the text, and many of you have been doing this for years. You come in to understand, at least conceptually, what the world is to Jesus within the framework of Jesus' discussion. Let's leave out whether it's true or not for a second. Forget whether it's true or not. Who's going here? We can let them wait. Just let's talk about it as if it's a discussion. Forget about what you have to believe, and forget the religiosity of a figure named Jesus, with any attendant guilt there may be to whether we say yes or no to Him or whatever. Basically, Jesus has given us a worldview. From His perspective, He's given us a worldview that, at best, it's an unreal place. And at its worst moments, it's cruel, torturous, absent of everything that you're looking for, seems to cheat you of your goals, and he doesn't mince his words when he talks about it. So when we're looking at the world, we're giving it a good look, and here in lesson 242, it starts out, right, this day is God's. It is my gift to Him. I will not lead my life alone today. I do not understand the world. It's okay. The master teacher was good. Whoever told you could understand the world? It's not understandable. Don't try to understand it, because you use your mind attempting to understand what's not understandable, rather than, as this says, and as it says in the section entitled The World, we can use everything that we've been using to attempt to understand a world that's not understandable. We can turn all of what we've used to do that in another direction. We can redirect it, as it says, and redirect it in a way that helps us understand ourselves. And as we come to understand ourselves and our reality, it becomes understandable why the world is not understandable to us, and why life here has seemed so hard and so harsh, and why, in spite of the best attempts to change the world remains the same no matter what changes seems to occur. It's because the world is not the problem. The world is merely a projection. The problem is the idea of separation, and the forgetting of the fact that I'm doing this to myself, because separation was an idea in my mind that I remembered not to laugh at, and is not being imposed upon me by God, but is self-imposed. Now I'm going to give my day back to God, because I'm not afraid of Him. I know He's not going to punish me. He doesn't really know or understand my absence, but I'm grateful that I no longer have the fear of God. I'm grateful that I've been told in this lesson that I don't understand the world. Jesus is telling me I don't understand the world. Now, there's a justification for my not having been able to understand the world for all the years that I think I've been in it. It's not understandable. When we come to understand ourselves, we come to understand why the world is not understandable. And the more we understand ourselves, and the more we accept the self that we were created to be, as being the single self, and this is what this is going to get to, that all of our brothers and sisters are created to be, then we can understand why we have not been able to understand the world and why we have to ask for help. I will not lead my life alone. And so to try to lead my life alone must be foolishness. If I don't understand the world, it would have to be, I live in a constant state of not understanding. It would be very unnerving. I'd be shaken easily, threatened, not even know what to do with the threat. And then this is an interesting thing here. Let me see if I can get to it. For there is one who knows all that is best for me, and he is glad to make no choices for me but the ones that lead to God. And remember, we're talking about the one who knows best for me is the one who knows best for you, because it is the one who knows best for you whose identity we share. And so he straightens the way and narrows the gate for us. And each and every one of us, while the journey looks different because the starting places seem to look different, as we arrive, as we rise up and arrive. And when I'm saying arrive, I'm saying arrive in the sense of awakening to the understanding of what's true. You begin to recognize, as all awakened minds have attempted to express, there's something behind it that they can't express, but they can share the certainty of what's behind it because of the experience they've had and because of the changed nature of who they are after they've had that experience, and the fact that they, as we've said in these other lessons, you can begin to recognize the change in the faces and the eyes and the way those who have been touched consciously in their awareness by God and the grace of God, and have then pursued it. You can see the changes in the way they are. This day I give to him, for I would not delay my homecoming. So that's the deal. Straightens the way and narrows the gate. He gets rid of all the obstacles that would make your homecoming next to impossible for you, because you're the maker of the obstacles, and the maker of the obstacles. And as Einstein said, you can't solve the problem. You can't solve the problem at the level at which the problem exists, which is what we've been trying to do. All it does is replicate the problem. It comes out in another way. So for a moment, everybody's all happy and grateful. They think they found the solution. Then 2 years, 3 years down the road, we have the same problem. And it's like fractals, just replicates the problem over and over and over and over again, changes the form, and so the content is not recognizable until the content is recognizable, and then it changes again, hides the content in a new form, and people fall for it because our memories are short, and our memories are based on the forgetting of reality and not the remembering of reality. And so we give today to you. We come with wholly open minds. We do not ask for anything that we may think we want. How would we know what we want and what we need if we do not understand who we are or where we are? The best we would do would experience a problem in the anxiety of that situation within us, and then look about and cast around into everything that seems to be around us, hoping that we could find something to solve that inner experience of isolation, of doubt, of pain and suffering, and the desire to die to get out of it because there's no other way. But he who knows the way for all of us knows how to bring us through those obstacles by training our mind and then allowing us to look at the obstacles with a new trained mind so that we can make a new decision. And rather than continue to make the same mistake, move along. And so we give today to you. We come with wholly open minds. We do not ask for anything that we may think we want. Give us what you would have. Give us what you would have received by us. Give us what you would have received by us. You know all our desires and all our needs. And you will give us everything we want. And that will help us find the way to you. Okay? And if that is your true heart and heart's desire, then this is what I'm going to suggest. I'm going to suggest that throughout the course of the day, not only do you do this, you watch your mind and you watch your circumstances. And you watch your mind as you go through the day's circumstances. And when the temptation shows up in your mind to think you know what you need and then find it outside of yourself, when that temptation shows up because you are the ruler of your mind and that's a kingdom that you must rule, stop for an instant and ask yourself a few questions. That's what this is all about. Giving yourself that space and not just simply reacting to the thought that sets you on the path to nothingness, on the path of fear and guilt again. Okay? This is lesson 242. You've seen it, many of you. And this is one of the reasons people took exception to the way that Dr. Wapnick expressed it, and one of the things he expressed was the fact that the truth of the matter is, until you have he called it a well-formulated ego, until you have a concretized ego. And what he was trying to say is that when we look at when someone who's a young person who hasn't been jaded yet looks upon the world, and they haven't had to live the hard life, like Buddha, the story of Buddha. When he went out and saw what the world was really like, he says, why the hell would anybody want to do this? I certainly don't want to do this. There's got to be a way. There's got to be an end to suffering. How do I find the end to suffering? The world isn't a nice place. Until you're ready to come to the point where the world isn't a nice place. And I'm not talking about you. How do I say this? Yes, the possibility exists in my mind. There are young people who, having come in with a new awareness, were able to continue in the journey of their new awareness. So they understood the nature of the sojourn has had nothing to do with the world, because they had the help from beyond the world to remember that and recognize that. But for anybody who has that help, you come into the world, you think you have to make a life in this world, support yourself, your family, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Until the world has let you down, you've seen that no matter what it is you do, you're going to die, and so is everyone in the world that you would bring into the world, no matter how hard you try to love them and support them. Your mind, the distinction in your mind hasn't been clear enough to say, wait a second, man, this world is not my home. This is not how I would have it be. I do not understand this. The world does not align with what I know to be true about my desires and my wishes and my hopes and my prayers and my heart. I do not understand that. And that's why I know it's not God's world. Now what do I do? And now we got a true perception. True perception allows you to see the world as it is, as an illusion, and not a reality. And allows you to understand reality as it is. And then utilize that which you learn in the understanding of reality in your daily life here in the world. And you'll watch your life change. But there comes a point in time where that reversal occurs. When we begin to use, as it says in the reading on the world, when everything that we've used to make the world what it is for ourselves is redirected, we begin to see the malleability of the world and the reality of the fact that we are the deciders. We are the choosers. We make, and you'll see it. You'll come into, all of a sudden you'll be in a little situation, say, oh my God, I really did that to myself. I see how the events led up to what happened. I did. You'll begin to see, because you'll begin to understand the principle, and you'll want to understand. And when you understand, you have the experience of seeing how it works. then it becomes automatic in your mind. It becomes trustworthy, and you trust it, and it trusts you. So this is lesson 242. What is the world? Lesson 242. This day is God's day. This is Sunday. I'm giving this day to God's. And whatever he gives to me, I will accept. And I will know is given to me for my own good, for my awakening, and for my return. So, have a good day. I'll see you all guys all sooner or later.